I mean, the deals are coming in furiously. Draymond returning on a 4-year deal to the Warriors. Jerami Grant, Kyle Kuzma just both got over $100 million. But certainly there's an eye-popping number, Kevin, for a current NBA champion.
Yeah, Bruce Brown, who showed out, especially for the Nuggets coming off the bench, career highs when you talk about points and what he did from shooting from three. How about a 2-year, $45 million deal with the Pacers? Tim Legler joining us now. Legs, when you see that full-screen graphic and like Jerami Grant, 5 years, $160 million. We're talking about a second-round pick with the Sixers in 2014, play with 5 teams, now staying with the Blazers, and then what Brown just got. Your reaction?
Well, my first reaction, Kevin, is I wish my parents met 25 years later. That's the first thing that goes through my head when I see all those numbers. But listen, I think Bruce Brown, let's get into Bruce Brown a little bit. I firmly believe Bruce Brown is the kind of guy that would be a difference maker on teams that are close to contending. Like, he could be a tipping point type of role player because he does so many things well on the court. This contract, though, for Bruce Brown, you get an opportunity to take this money, you take it. You don't know how many opportunities you're going to have when you're healthy and you hit free agency, coming off a year in which he won a championship and he was that important to a championship team. He took the money for Indiana. Is as close. I know they've got some young pieces, and Halliburton is a guy that's going to be a superstar in this league, and he's going to be a max player without question. But you look at the Pacers, 12 games under 500, outside the lottery or outside the play-in. This is a team that I think is further away than some of the other teams that Bruce Brown potentially could have looked at, made a difference. But here's the thing, Kevin, not a lot of those teams I'm talking about had enough money to sign Bruce Brown. So he would have had to take less money to be on a team potentially that could make another championship run somewhere. And I just don't think a guy in his situation could risk that. You've got to get that guarantee, get that money banked. It's a 2-year deal. He'll be back on the free agent market potentially in a couple years, and maybe he looks at it differently when he's got some more money in the bank.
To your point, we're talking about a guy, career earnings $15 million. So you can't say no to $45 million guaranteed, 2 years in Indiana. I do want to get your thoughts here with Kuzma. Over $100 million banked on himself, deciding to stay with the Wizards for 4 years. And then the Jerami Grant deal and the Blazers at 5 years, $160 million, while they still consider what they're going to do with Damian Lillard.
Yeah, look, look, both of these guys are really productive players. And Kyle Kuzma, you know, he has relished in his role since he got to Washington. He's a guy you can count on every night. You know what you're going to get. He's got upside as a scorer. He rebounds his position well. He runs the floor. It looks like he's out there. He's a good teammate. It was an easy investment for them to make. So I think the Wizards, they wanted to make sure they secured him. That number sounds about right for a guy that does what he does productively on the offensive end of the floor. Jerami Grant, he's more of a two-way player. He's a guy that really kind of made his bones in this league as a primary defender of elite-level scorers on the perimeter. And then he got to Detroit, and he added scoring to his game at this level. So he is a guy certainly that's important. And when you look at the Pacers and the Blazers and where they are at with this Damian Lillard situation hovering, this is stability for them. The number might sound high to a lot of people, but in today's market, I don't even know what that means anymore. Guys get this kind of money when you play both ends and you put up a certain amount of points every night. Scoot Henderson coming in, so if they do trade Lillard, you now have stability around Scoot Henderson when you have a two-way forward to go along with him. More and more, we see the trend, Kevin, the last 2 years, guys re-signing with their teams rather than going out and exploring the waters elsewhere.
They can get those monster deals, and you mentioned Grant's scoring averaged over 20 points per game in his only year with Portland. Legs, thank you so much.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.